Says chieftains disputes are threats to national security as he launches Kwewu State Book. Seven arrested for killing cattle belonging to Fulanis at Wapuli in the Saboba district of the Northern Region. Eastern Regional Police identified 7 victims of last Thursday's drowning incident on the Volta Lake. Colleges of Education Non-Teaching Staff Association of Ghana suspends indefinite strike for 1 week. And U.S. approves arms sales to Nigeria despite human rights concerns. You're live on GBC News and it's time for News Hour. Hello, good evening. I'm Siyokwo Kwakutre. Welcome to the news. The Kwewu Traditional Council, in partnership with the Ghana State Book Project, has launched the Kwewu State Book at the Empire Zoo Event Center in the Kwewu South Municipality of the Eastern Region. It was time to coincide with Easter activities in the area at the event where the President Nana Akufo-Addo, the Eastern Regional Minister, Mr. Seth Kwame Achampon, the President of the Eastern Regional House of Chiefs, Nene Sakite, the Overlord of the Kwewu Traditional Area, Dasibre Nana Ekwe Jipon, among others.
The over 3,000-page book contains the history, culture, and other traditional norms of all the sub-towns in the Kwewu Traditional Area. The book, among other things, will help to eliminate chieftaincy dispute concerning installment. Kwewu is the 4th traditional area in the country which has launched a state book. The Ghana State Book Project has launched a similar book at Ewutu, Ofenso, and Techimai. According to the Communications Director of Ghana State Book Project, Mr. David Donto, a Kwewu traditional area will be their next project. The paramount chief of Kwewu, Dasibre Ekwe Jipon, said the people of Kwewu have played a significant role in the socio-economic development of the country. President Akufo-Addo commended the chief and people of Kwewu for the initiative and charged other traditional councils to also follow suit. He said chieftaincy disputes are a major threat to national security and must be avoided at all times.
Say Mobwa Modi say BBC about the Tuga, Mabo Modern Pa, say Boma Basso. They say, Ne, Bukaba, Ebabe Bois, MOBH, who the beer, no crano da, Ewoqua, memoir, Asem Papa, to come for a Sia Damase, some to the BBC so, Abba.
The president of Breast Care International, Mrs. Beatrice Wiafi, lauded the chief and people of Kwewu for the initiative.
Police in the Northern Region have arrested 7 persons at Wapuli in the Saboba district for killing at least 4 cows. A police patrol team saw the men carrying the cows in a tricycle and upon interrogation found out they had killed the cows belonging to some herdsmen. Sources within the police say the incident is not connected to the Zakole attack which happened in neighboring district of Yendi, but the suspects took advantage of the incident to kill the cows. The suspects are in police custody assisting with investigation and will be arraigned before court on Tuesday. The overlord of Dagban, Yana Abubakar Mahama, says the killing of herdsmen at Zakole in the Yendi municipality of the Northern Region must be swiftly investigated to the minutest detail. He said the perpetrators of the attacks should not escape justice and tasked the Northern and Yendi Municipal Security Councils to fish out the killers and bring them to justice. The overlord was speaking when the Northern Regional Minister, Ms. Shaibu Shani Al-Hassan called on him at the Gbewa Palace to brief him on the attack at Zakoli, which has left at least 8 persons dead.
On Wednesday, April 13th, some gunmen attacked the Zakoli community in the Yendi municipality and killed at least 8 men in what locals suspected to be reprisal attacks. Several others were injured and houses burnt. The development follows another attack earlier in the day in which a teacher was killed at Zangban on the Yendi-Zabzugu road. The attacks have left many, including the Yana, in shock. The Northern Regional Minister Shaibu Shani Al-Hassan led the Northern Regional Security Council to the community to assess the situation. The team also paid a courtesy call on the Yana to brief him on the development. Yana Abubakar Mahama expressed his disappointment with the Yendi Municipal Security Council and the Divisional Police Command for their handling of the Zakoli attacks, saying, though he informed the Municipal Chief Executive and the Divisional Police Command to go to the community to protect lives and property, they failed to report back to him about the killings. The Northern Regional Minister Shani Al-Hassan Shaibu apologized to the overlord on behalf of the Municipal Security Council and assured him of a thorough investigation into the incident. Though calm has returned to the community, families of the victims are still traumatized by the development and no arrests have so far been made.
The Accra Regional Police Commander DCOP Idi Seidu says the use and trade in illicit drugs and uncontrolled love for gambling among the youths have become serious issues that have robbed Zango communities of their past glories. He noted that these ills have given rise to crimes in these communities that hitherto portrayed virtues such as honesty. DCOP Idi Seidu made these remarks at a capacity building forum on conflict prevention and management in Accra.
Zango communities have been bedeviled with a myriad of challenges that have hampered development. Drug peddlers have also found solace in these communities, and their activities are negatively affecting the proper development of the youth. The recent shooting incident between rival gangs of Mamubi and Nima, among other misdemeanors, necessitated the forum, which was organized by the Zango Development Fund, to discuss how leadership could spearhead actions to address such ills. The Accra Regional Police Commander, DCOP Idi Seidu, who did not mince words, noted that Zango communities have become a safe haven for drug peddling and use. A situation he said is deteriorating and gradually eroding the gains made. He said there is the need for a swift action to nip these negative tendencies in the bud to restore the dignity of Zango communities.
The people who were usually labeled as Pepe used to be the people who are honest, straightforward, and doing all the best things. But today, times have changed. Each and every one of us have a role. Whether you are a chief, you are a mu'alim, or you are a magadia, we all have opportunity to motivate our people.
The national coordinator of the Zango and Inner Cities Development Secretariat at the presidency, Mr. Ben Abdallah, noted that West Africa in recent times has caught the attention of the world in the negative light. He mentioned coups, violent extremism, drug trafficking, among others, as issues causing problems in the sub-region. According to him, the Zongo youth are vulnerable and can be recruited to join some of these crusades if their leaders do not address some fundamental issues early enough.
Sustaining peace will only be realized through committed, inclusive, national ownership that considers the needs of the most marginalized, including women, young people, minorities, and people with disabilities. Women are critically important peace builders, and I'm strongly committed to their inclusion in all peace-building processes.
The participants applauded the organizers of the forum, which they say ought to be replicated nationwide.
The police has identified 7 victims of last Thursday's drowning incident on the Volta Lake in the Fram Plains North area of the Eastern region. The 7 are all farmers who were crossing the Volta Lake when the boat they were traveling on capsized during a storm. 13 other people who were on the boat were rescued by some fishermen in the area. The incident occurred at about 8 a.m. according to the police. The 7 have been identified as Aku Jethro 60, Esther Colley 31, Faustina Akmeli 32, Evelyn Akpaglo 31, Aku Adanyo 55, Mary Magic 39, and Edward Gatti 31. The Public Relations Officer of the Eastern Regional Police Command, DSP Ebenezer Tete, explained that the operator of the boat, Ekemev Amoga, was also said to have drowned. DSP Tete indicated that the body of the deceased had been deposited at a mortuary on the Dwarf Island. The Colleges of Education Non-Teaching Staff Association of Ghana, SENSAG, has suspended its indefinite strike for 1 week until Wednesday, April 20, 2022. That the association said was to enable it to continue the engagement with the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission and other interested parties to find lasting solutions to their issues. A statement jointly signed by the National President, Mr. Frederick Foucault, and Mr. Samuel Opoku, National Secretary, said the suspension was in accordance with the proceedings that ensued at a meeting with the National Labour Commission where the decision was reached. The statement, however, notified its employer and stakeholders of resumption of the strike on Wednesday, April 20 or thereafter, should the issues at stake remain unresolved. The association on Monday, April 11, 2022, commenced a nationwide indefinite strike citing government's continuous disregard to issues affecting the welfare of its members. The presiding bishop of the Methodist Church Ghana, Most Reverend Dr. Paul Boafo, explains why some Christians abstain from red meat during the period of Lent.
Christmas and Easter are important events on the Christian calendar, with the birth and resurrection of Jesus Christ as a victor over sin, death, and the grave. The two festivals connotes the saving power of God through his grace, mercy, and love for humankind. There are various events mapping up to the celebration, and one of such is the unleavened bread. Most Reverend Dr. Kwabna Boafo takes us through the journey of the ritual in an exclusive interview with GBC News.
In the days of the bondage of Israel in Egypt, they cried unto the Lord for deliverance or for salvation. And the Lord was going to deliver them, and it was to be in haste. And so he told them in Exodus chapter 12 that they should prepare the food that they are going to eat using unleavened bread. So all we are saying, or what the Bible means by unleavened bread, is the bread that has no material to let the dough rise.
It has symbolic importance in both Judaism and Christianity. Jews and Christians consume the bread such as matzah during the Passover period as commanded in Exodus 12:18. Among the rituals for this period is the Easter egg. Early Christians in Mesopotamia dyed eggs in the period after Easter, which practice was later adopted by the Orthodox churches, spreading later into Western Europe.
Well, that was the presiding bishop of the Methodist Church Ghana, Most Reverend Dr. Paul Boafo, explaining why eating of the unleavened bread signifies a period of God's visitation. Unleavened bread As we know, it is bread prepared with no rising agent such as yeast. And the presiding bishop further explains why some Christians abstain from red meat during the period of Lent.
Isaiah chapter 52, 53 tells us that Christ was beaten such that his whole figure was disfigured. His whole face was disfigured. So blood coming out and all of that is where people think that these traditions think that no, especially on Fridays, there is a denial. There is that tradition where you move away from meat having blood, meat having all that, and we know the essence of blood as well. So we move away and it's not touching it.
Time for our Chopology series. Sobolo, also known as hibiscus tea, is a popular refreshing drink in Ghana. Sobolo is Rizal juice, a drink made out of the flowers of the Rizal plant, a variety of hibiscus. This drink is said to have originated from Senegal, where it is known as bisap, the country's local drink. And Ghanaians have a special way of preparing this drink and made it one of the popular local drinks in the country. Sobolo has high levels of vitamin C and is a perfect solution to common cold due to the addition of local spices including cloves and negro pepper added to the hibiscus leaves during preparation. Today on Chopology, we take you through the preparation of this healthy drink.
Sobolo is derived from the flowers of the roselle plant, a variety of hibiscus. It can be made from either roselle leaves or flowers, a species of hibiscus that is native to West Africa. Many of us confuse this flower with the typical red-flowered hibiscus acetosella, which is just a decoration flower with no medicinal usage. Sobolo is typically dark purple red in color, and the flavor can be described as something between grape and cranberry juice. It contains bioflavonoids that help to prevent plaque from building up on the walls of your arteries, which lowers your cholesterol and helps to prevent a number of other serious diseases. Sobolo is a natural appetite suppressant. The leaves of flowers are steeped in hot water, and once the water has turned red, it is strained. Next, blend spices such as ginger, negro pepper, black pepper and alligator pepper together and mix with the strained Sobolo water and allow to cool. Depending on one's taste buds, you can add sweetener or blend pineapple or any other citrus fruit you desire to enhance the taste. At the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, Sobolo was widely used as a preventive measure in Ghana with positive results due to its being loaded with vitamin C, the element responsible for preventing various infections in the body, including flu, common cold, among many others.
I personally like Sobolo very well. One, it boosts your immune system. Many times when you have a shortage of blood, if you like, don't go and buy any other medicine, whatever. You can use Sobolo and it will boost the blood seriously.
The reason why I like Sobolo a lot was during the COVID time, they said it's good to take Sobolo to boost your immune system and also it clears cold. So me in particular, I love my Sobolo with ginger in it. I like to take ginger, but it's not easy to chew it like that. So when they put it in the Sobolo, I take it and then it clears my system. I don't get cold, or anytime I get cold small, when I go for Sobolo with ginger in it, it's very good for me. That's the reason why I like Sobolo.
Personally, I take Sobolo when as and when it comes my way. And I do hear from people that it boosts the immune system and it increases your blood.
From studies, drinking a cup of sobolo after meals aids in weight loss since it is a natural appetite suppressant. In more scientific news, a U.S. Department of Agriculture USDA study in 2008 by nutrition scientist Ms. Diane Markey revealed that drinking hibiscus tea or drink actually lowers blood pressure in a group of pre-hypertensive and mildly hypertensive persons. And guess what? It may also lower cholesterol levels.
The chief of Achim Abinasi Nana Okumkom Bwame has met indigents of the town residing in Accra to brief them on a project he wants to undertake in the town. He appealed to them to help raise funds to establish a modern technical and vocational training institute in the area. They said the Achim Abinasi diaspora community have donated over 36,000 cedis towards the project, but more funds need to be raised towards the project. He said the TVET Institute will equip the youth of the area with technical and vocational skills to become independent. The Chinese government is supporting Ghana with a $119 million loan facility to upgrade technical universities and some technical institutions across the country. Capped under the Ghana-China project, the Adakujechi campus of the Kumasi Technical University now has a state-of-the-art workshop for practicals.
Technical and vocational skills remain a driving force for most developed economies in the world. This is evident in areas such as the automobile, construction and engineering industries. Ghana is embarking on an agenda to make TVET education more attractive to the youth. To realize this, the government entered into partnership with the Chinese government in 2018 to implement the Ghana-China project with a $119 million loan facility from the Chinese Exim Bank. Key among the projects that were executed by AVIC International Corporation included the rehabilitation and upgrading of technical universities and some technical institutions across the country. Under the projects, the Kumasi Technical University benefited from a modern workshop at its Adako Jache campus to provide practical training for students in civil, auto and mechanical engineering. Handing over the project to authorities of the school, the Minister for Education, Dr. Osei Yao Educhum, said technical and vocational education and training is one of the priority sectors for which the government is giving it the needed support.
My government since 2019 has been implementing my TVET campaign to help change the negative public perceptions about TVET in Ghana. We are using this campaign to emphasize the importance of TVET and redeem the misconception that technical and vocational education is inferior and patronized only by less endowed students.
The Chinese ambassador to Ghana, Mr. Lung Kun, reiterated the Chinese government's resolve to partner Ghana build her industrial sector through TVET.
Supply and install 96 sets of teaching equipment and provide training courses. It is a huge progress for Ghana's technical and vocational education and training.
Dr. Yaweduchum officially launched the Commission for Technical and Vocational Education and Training, CTVET. The commission, created by Act 1023, has the mandate to regulate TVET in Ghana.
Still on technical and vocational education, 2,793 students of the Kumasi Technical University have been awarded certificates after completing a 2-year program in TVET. At the ceremony in Kumasi, a Deputy Minister of Education in charge of technical and vocational education and training, Mrs. Gifty Chum Ampofo, told the gathering that the government is retooling all TVET institutions in the country to bridge the infrastructure gap facing them.
Kumasi Technical University has been adjudged the best technical university in the country for the second year running and the 8th best among the 68 universities in the country. The university's success has been attributed to the redesigning of its academic programs with emphasis on practical skills. At its congregation in Kumasi, 2,793 students were awarded certificates. The certificate categories included Master of Technology, Bachelor of Technology, Higher National Diploma, Professional Diploma, Ordinary Diploma, and the Council for Technical Education and Vocational Training Diploma. The Vice-Chancellor of the university, Professor Osewusu Achao, said, in spite of government support to the university, it still needs assistance to complete some stalled projects.
The university has initiated plans to construct a new Faculty of Engineering and Technology facility at its continental land in the near future. The project is a collaboration between the university and the Ministry of Education. Already, elaborate designs for the project, which were undertaken by staff of the university, has been completed, and a contractor and a financier has been selected for the project.
A Deputy Minister for Education in charge of Technical and Vocational Education and Training, Mrs. Gifty Chum Ampofo, commended the university for rolling out programs that is in line with today's industrial demand. She assured the university of government's continued support.
For Ghana to live beyond aid, for us to reduce youth unemployment and reduce poverty, the only engine to move this agenda is TVET. And for this reason, within the Ghana TVET agenda, we've been able to get through with all the acts that need to move TVET forward. And I'm glad again to say that all the various TVET institutions, which hitherto were under 19 ministries of the country, are all now under the Ministry of Education, under first ever agency we call the TVET service. And they are all benefiting for the government's #1 flagship program, the free SHS. So now we have free SHS, that are free senior high schools, and we have free TVET at the second cycle level.
The chairman of the governing council, Professor Ben Bafuboni, received a special award for his contribution to the growth and development of the university.
A charge to teachers and patrons in senior high schools across the country is to encourage students to help develop their self-esteem, improve their academic performance, and prepare them to become visionary leaders in future. These were the remarks by the Premier Lady of the Royal House Chapel International, Mrs. Rita Kranchiankra, when she launched the Sam Kranchiankra Award for teaching and non-teaching staff of the Zion College Senior High School, ZICO, at a comeback crusade organized by the school. The report by Ofri Wadako.
The Zion Senior High School, ZICO, also referred to as Zion College of West Africa at Angloga in the Volta region, was established in 1937 by Reverend Dr. Ferdinand Kwesi Fiao. The school for the past years has churned out influential personalities who are contributing to Ghana's socio-economic development to support and promote quality education while preaching Christ to the youth, revivalist, career guidance, marriage counselor, and the Premier Lady of the Royal House Chapel International, Reverend Mrs. Rita Kranchiankra, held a comeback crusade at her alma mater, Zion College SHS ZICO, in the Volta region. The comeback crusade brought about 2,000 students from the Keta Business College, Anglo Technical Institute, Atoko Vocational Training Institute, and Zion College to hear the life-changing story of Reverend Mrs. Rita Kwankye-Ankrah. In 1982, while a student at Zion College, Reverend Mrs. Rita Kwankye-Ankrah received Jesus Christ as her Lord and personal Savior during a crusade organized in the school by her husband, Apostle General Sam Kwankye-Ankrah, while he was on an evangelism duty. According to Reverend Mrs. Rita Kwankye-Ankrah, her encounter with Jesus Christ began the positive shift in her life, which has today given her a successful ministry and family. She further reiterated the need for teachers to constantly show interest in the academic progress of students.
Your parents are doing so well, trying to put food on your table, trying to put clothes in your trunk and food in your top boxes. Please, when you come to school, study very hard. During our time, there was no social media, to take our attention. Now, the kind of things that are taking your attention is so much. Please, leave your phones at home. When you come to school, stop the boyfriend, stop the girlfriend, stop the homosexuality, stop the lesbian, and study very hard and make it to the university.
The team, led by Reverend Mrs. Kwankye-Ankrah, presented educational materials, food items, and public address system to the school. The headmaster, Mr. Innocent August, and District Director of Education, Madam Yvonne Akpene Ame-Bruce, were grateful for the kind gesture, especially giving back to society. For GBC News, Ofri Wadako reporting.
A 9-year-old boy, Godfred Nyamicha Mwako, is reported missing. According to eyewitnesses, the boy left home on Thursday, April 14, 2022 at 11:30 a.m. and was last seen around St. John's and Mile 7 Market on Friday, 15th April 2022. He was wearing a yellow Crocs and a multicolored T-shirt with black shorts. He speaks Twi. Anyone with information about Godfred Nyamicha Mwako should contact 024 358 4852 or the nearest police station. We'll be back with the business segments. Please stay on. The Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications says it is working with the Ghana Revenue Authority (GRA) to ensure that technicalities concerning the implementation of the E-levy are addressed before the 1st of May 2022. In an earlier interview, the Chief Executive of the Chamber, Dr. Ken Ashigbe, said the phased approach, which was to be used earlier for implementation, has now been changed to a full whole approach after the E-levy bill was passed into law.
SIM registration was supposed to end by the 31st of March. So the agreement we had with GRA then was to do a phased approach. You know, the waiver that government wants to do was supposed to be per person, but the complexity of it and the fact that SIM registration had not been done, what was agreed was that we're going to do the first piece, which then was going to end on the 31st of March. Okay. But then, now that the bill has been passed into law, we noticed that that whole phased approach is not in the bill. And when we met the Minister for Finance and the Minister of State for Finance, they then mentioned that we're now going to go the full hog, and it was no more going to be the phased approach. But so now we are now working with a new implementation project, where now we are going the full hog. Because our members, once we had that conversation with the GRA, we had gone in and, you know, working with their vendors, done development, and so we're ready to go with that. But now with this one, there had to be new engagement with GRA. So I would say so far so good. The interesting thing about this particular tax implementation is that it's not only for our members to do. The GRA are putting together a common platform on which our members are supposed to connect for the tax.
The Ghana Revenue Authority has been tasked not to only put in systems to improve revenue mobilization, but also ensure revenue compliance. Speaking at the annual Tax and Good Governance Week in Accra, a Deputy Minister for Finance, Madam Abna Osei-Asare, said ensuring tax compliance should be at the lowest cost to both the taxpayer and the Ghana Revenue Authority.
The Ghana Revenue Authority has been tasked to mobilize a total tax revenue of 80.3 billion Ghana cedis. This translates to a tax to GDP ratio of 16.5% from the current 13.4%. The use of digital platforms has been cited as one of the avenues to be used to meet the 80.3 billion Ghana cedis target and clamp down on tax evasion by the public. At the annual Tax and Good Governance Week in Accra, a Deputy Minister for Finance, Madam Abna Osei-Asare, lauded the GRA for the use of various digital platforms to improve the taxpayers' experience.
This year, filing is being done on the developed application referred to as the Taxpayers Portal. And this portal is a secure tax management tool developed by GRA and its partners, which will enable taxpayers to file their returns, initiate payments, apply for refunds, and undertake other transactions with ease and convenience. We expect that our clients, the taxpayers, will therefore take advantage of these initiatives to be compliant.
The Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Dr. Amishadai Owusu-Amwa, said all medium and individual taxpayers have the option to file their taxes online.
If you find out that you have paid more than what you ought to pay, we actually do refund taxes to people, and we actually pay cash. So it's not also true that we always hold your credit and then wait till another year comes and then we use the credit to. If we find out that we have overpaid, and you will never know that you have overpaid unless you file. So filing is not only to make sure that we collect more from you, but to also make sure that we have not also paid more than what you ought to pay. And if we find out you have paid more than what you ought to pay, we do refund to people. So filing is very, very important.
GRE says its ultimate desire is to ensure that all taxpayers are compliant.
Inflationary winds blowing across the world has pushed prices of goods and services in Ghana up, with the month of March recording inflation of 19.4%. This makes the inflation of March 2022 the highest since 2009. GBC News was at the Nima market in Accra to find out more about how the hike in fuel prices is affecting prices of commodities as Ghanaians join the rest of the world to celebrate Easter.
The constant rise in the price of food items on the market has been a worry for many households, as more money is now being used to purchase few food items for their Easter meals. Latest report on inflation by the Ghana Statistical Service shows that inflation for March 2022 stood at 19.4%, the highest in 12 years. This figure is about 10% more than the Bank of Ghana's earlier projection of +10 or -2%. GBC News was at the Nima market to interact with some traders on the effect the price hikes is having on their business. The Nima market is known for the relatively cheaper prices of both food and non-food items. However, the traders say the situation is changing as they also have to adjust their prices in order to break even. Madam Asana Abubakari, who sells cereals including maize, says she now sells an olunka of millet for 17 cedis from 10 cedis some months back. According to her, her suppliers blame it on the increase in transport fares due to an increase in fuel prices, which is attributed to the war in Ukraine.
They say millet 6,600,000. They say cocoa back on 17 cedis. I too much.
A tomato trader, Madam Evelyn Akutete, said the price of fresh tomatoes has gone up compared with last year. This has led to a drop in demand for the commodity, and because tomato is a perishable commodity, she has incurred losses. Other traders of non-food items such as Madam Akwete, who sells traditional soap, popularly known as Alata Samina, also said the soaps are very expensive at source, so they do not have any option than to add margins by which they would at least break even. Despite the current inflation rate at over 19%, the traders were still hopeful that these economic tides will soon pass for a more friendly business environment. This is because April is a season for sowing, and if the rains continue as expected, it will bring in a bumper harvest to reduce the inflationary pressures on our pockets.
Still in business since its establishment in September 2011, PIAC has exercised oversight responsibility of monitoring and evaluating the management and use of Ghana's petroleum revenues by the government and stakeholder institutions. At the launch of its 2021 annual report in Accra, the head of Payroll Processing Directorate Controller and Accountant General's Department, Mrs. Angela Piasa, urged PIAC to keep the relevance of its existence by being innovative.
I wish to suggest that now that the committee is stabilizing, could we look beyond our legal remit of oil revenue and its management and consider exploring into other related areas such as sustainability, SDGs, or even lesson sharing that impacts the national dialogue as a way of optimizing our visibility and relevance. In my personal discussions around governance structures, I have always referred to PIAC committee structure, where membership changes in a continuum, such that you don't have old people going and new people coming, but you have new people joining old people, so they are warmed up into the process. The learning curve is shortened. I think it's one of the strengths of PIAC. I just want to challenge our current PIAC, but I think as far as reporting and public engagements are concerned, we are peaking. We are really there. But if we want to keep the relevance of our institution, we need to be a bit more innovative and maybe a bit more adventurous in seeing how we can further impact on the national dialogue.
12 communities in the Volta region have benefited from a 5-water system facility. The facilities were funded by the Rotary Foundation and its partners at a cost of 320,000 cedis.
The 5 water systems are expected to help address the perennial water shortage in the 12 communities. The project was funded by the Rotary Foundation under its Global Grant project. 3 of the water systems are located at Bokuve, while the remaining 2 have been stationed at Bajikope and Abata RC Basic School. Each of the water systems have 10,000-liter capacity polytanks to serve the community. About 10,000 residents in 12 communities in the Volta region are expected to be served. The president of the Rotary Club, Ho, Mr. Eric Botte, appealed to the beneficiary communities to own the water systems and ensure its regular maintenance.
That's it for business. We'll be right back.
With the filth in Accra, the gutters are choked with garbage. The streets are a jumble of filth. The beauty of the serene beaches is marred with human feces and plastics as many defecate in the open. Residents are up in arms when the situation gets out of hand.
Because of these meetings, you can't even stand there for even a minute. As we speak here, if the mosquitoes even refuse to breathe on it.
Partners in sanitation suggest alternative policy interventions.
Landfilling is not the way forward. We are recommending treatment facilities.
But in all of this, have we made gains in the sector?
How can you have a people who have a lot of dignity and still practicing identification?
The task facing Ghana to achieve SDG Goal 6 on clean water and sanitation for all is Herculean and riddled with equally complicated hurdles. Join us every Thursday on Wash Hour from 4:05 p.m. to 5 p.m. as we seek to put these issues and more in perspective. Watch a repeat on Fridays from 1 to 2 p.m. and on Sundays 9:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. It is our duty to keep our surroundings clean and free from disease.